Tiffany McCain, and today I'm going to be talking to you about high school dropout rates. Every year, over 1.2 million students drop out of high school in the United States. That's a student every 26 seconds, or 7,000 students a day. Before I discuss the solution, I want to tell you a little bit more about the problem in further detail. The problem we face in education today is too many high school students dropping out and not getting their diploma or graduating and not being held accountable. Like Russell W. Rumberger says, the United States is facing a dropping out crisis. The United States ranks 21st among industrialized countries in the proportion of youths who complete high school, and will never achieve President Barack Obama's goal of having the highest proportion of college graduates in the world without solving our dropout crisis first. The effects of the dropouts affect everyone, your community, you, even people you don't think it reaches, it does. The high school dropout rates are less likely to receive, the high school dropouts, like students who don't receive their diploma, are less likely to receive job-based health insurance, pension plans, and they're less likely to stay healthy and live full lives, to vote and make other kind of civic contributions. Those aren't the kind of people you want in your community. In fact, the average dropout pays about $60,000 less in taxes in his or her lifetime. Minority students are unable to reach academic standards. It's a lot of the reasons why there are dropouts. Students who drop out to work for their families because their mom and dad are on disability, or they have younger brothers and siblings that they need to support and their mom and dad can't do it all on their own. Some students report dropping out for behavioral reasons, or they just didn't feel welcomed in the school district. Other students have disabilities and just couldn't function, and they get so far behind that they just can't complete high school and they don't get to graduate on time with the rest of their friends, so they just drop out and go to work and never receive a diploma. Dropping out of high school is no longer an option. It's not just quitting on yourself, it's quitting on your country. And a country needs and values the talents of every American. It's a quote from President Barack Obama. Who is affected? If you don't think you're affected, you are. Everyone around you, dropouts affect everyone and can touch everyone and affect somebody in any kind of way. The nation's children are its future workers, citizens, and leaders. So why are more people concerned about the shockingly high number of dropouts in the United States? Dropouts have minimal skills necessary to work. They live off of unemployment, welfare, and live off of your tax dollars. Dropouts are involved in crime, are the biggest population incarcerated in prisons, and it also affects America's national security. It's a sobering thought to think that people who don't have their diploma can't serve in the military. So if you think it doesn't affect you, it does. The physical burden of America's high school dropouts was in an overview from National Public Radio in a series of articles written by Sanchez that dropouts cost taxpayers between $320 billion and $350 billion a year in lost wages, taxable income, health, welfare, and incarceration costs, and among others. So just for you paying extra taxes for people living on welfare, like dropouts who never graduated, and for paying for beds and foods for people who are in prison to sleep on. There's a lot to be said for inmates who don't have a high school diploma. In fact, 68% of state prison inmates across the country never received a diploma. Today, completing high school is essential for getting a job in any kind of workforce. College experience is important, but overall high school experience, if you don't have your diploma, you can't go anywhere from there. Now that you're aware of all the problems that high school dropout rates contribute to, we'll talk a little bit about the solution, and I'll give you my idea of what could work best. By creating a program in schools for high-risk students, so that they receive extra credit and extra attention for encouragement, so they will want to stay in school and graduate and receive their diplomas. Alternative schools are the best example and best kind of setup for this operation. Alternative schools are good because they often deal with problem children, hard to educate children, and there's more teachers and more skill-driven employees who can work with those type of students and help them graduate. Otherwise, in the general ed classrooms, they would just be pushed to the side and nobody would help them further, like after they just gave one disruptive problem. Alternative schools have been successful in reducing truancy, improving attitudes towards school, accumulating high school credits, and reducing behavior problems. And that's a quote from an article from Clemson University. The feasibility of an alternative school would cost taxpayers and the government far less money than it would to support uneducated and people dropouts. On unemployment, for tax dollars. For America, the cost of doing nothing about dropouts are enormous and far outweigh the cost of action. And that's a quote from Dennis Van Roekel, the NEA president. A good example of an alternative school is Horizonte Instruction and Training Center, an alternative school in Salt Lake City, Utah. The class sizes are small, educators are plentiful, and parent-teacher interactions are frequent and unexpected, traits that are often very common in most alternative schools. The Horizonte Instruction and Training Center was able to receive a federal school improvement grant, one of the first of alternative schools in the nation to do so. And the funding has been used successfully to raise the level of academic rigor in all of the classrooms. When schools are held accountable and students are given support to help them stay in school and on track, real progress is possible. And that's a quote from John Gompertz, President and CEO of America's Promise Alliance, a group who works towards educating students and helping them get their diplomas and graduate. High school dropout rates are a problem for you, your community, and our nation. Although the problem seems out of reach and there are multiple solutions, and you should care and you should want to help. The problem we face in education today is too many adults dropping out of high school and not being held accountable for their actions. There is no one to care and not enough programs to help prevent students from dropping out. If everyone works towards lowering the high school dropout rates, there could be more job opportunities, a safer society, the nation's economy can generate more revenue, and overall a population that contributes and can give back.